Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. One day a man walked into a library and he walked up to the librarian and he said, "Where are your books on paranoia?" And the librarian leaned in and whispered, "They're right behind you." Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at La Resistance from Flying Pig Games.
We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review.
In La Resistance from Flying Pig Games, 3 to 5 players take on the roles of various competing resistance fighters as they attempt to overthrow the yoke of the Germans and restore peace, freedom, and independence to France. Each player is going to go ahead and take a passport. This is their character, which is going to have a track for glory points up above, and it's also going to have your recruits down below. And you start, I think, on 5 or 6 recruits. Then you're going to go ahead and shuffle an event deck, a c'est la guerre deck, and a mission deck. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to place 3 of the mission deck cards out in front of you. Now, these are 3 potential missions that you can go on. Now, again, you're competing resistance groups, right? You're trying to be the best resistance group to recruit the most people to your team. And so generally what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to try to take out as many of those missions as you can. Now, at the beginning of every round, you actually reveal an event card, and the event cards are going to have kind of special scenarios, special rules just for that round. Now, the missions have various information on the cards. For instance, it tells you what it is, what kind of mission it is, a building or what have you. Then you're going to have dice faces on one side. You're going to have possible rewards or penalties on the other side. Now, typically, you have black and white die faces. Now, what that means is with the white die face, you need to roll exactly that number or above to place on that. But with the black ones, what you can do is you can actually roll, and then any die, you can take the sum of those die and place it there. Now, you're rolling a total of 6 die, so you're trying to get as many of these things on as many of the cards as you can in order to complete that mission. Now, if you complete that mission, you will gain rewards. Typically, you will either gain glory points, which are victory points, or you'll gain recruits. And recruits are kind of like, in this case, kind of like your health. It's a number of people that follow you, but they also kind of act as almost a health tracker there. But some missions may have penalties if you don't solve them. If you don't go after it, you may lose glory points, you may lose recruits. Now, typically when you're rolling die, if ever you roll a 6, that die explodes. Essentially, you get an exploding die. You can roll that exploding die to give you more options to work here. And if, again, you roll another 6 on that exploding die, you can roll another die, and potentially you could keep rolling exploding die. However, if with an exploding die you ever roll a 1, you immediately lose one of your recruits. Now, there's other things you can do with your dice more than just using them for the missions. You can take a sum of 6 dice, and you can use that to buy a c'est la guerre card. Now, the c'est la guerre cards are kind of cards that have take that on them. They may have abilities for you to be more powerful against missions. They may protect you from other effects in the game. There's all sorts of things that the c'est la guerre cards can do. You can have a maximum of 2 c'est la guerre cards at a time. You go ahead, you put those next to you, and you wait on them until it's appropriate to play them. Now, you can also take the sum of the die that adds up to 6, and you can use that to essentially steal a glory point from one of your competitors. You can steal a glory point from them, they go down, you go up. You can also do this with recruits. Essentially, again, take the sum of the die that is equal to 6, and you can steal a recruit from somebody. However, if they are on their last recruit, you cannot steal their last recruit. You cannot be responsible for the death of that resistor. So players are going around and around. They are revealing the event cards. They are rolling dice. They're getting those exploding dice. They're using them to take out missions. They're stealing glory points from their friends. They are stealing recruits from their friends. They're getting those Say Laguerre cards, and all in the attempt to achieve victory. Now, if ever as a result of some game effects, they lose all of their recruits, they are out of the game. However, the first player to get to 12 glory points wins La Resistance. So this is, of course, a kind of dice manipulation game. And there's a bit of push your luck here, too, with the exploding die and what you can do there. And there's sometimes, of course, the cards are going to come out that you have to go after them, but your die roll's no good. There is a chance to mulligan on your... When you roll the die, you can choose to take out one of your die and re-roll the other 5. So you do have some options, like I say, to manipulate the die here. But fundamentally, that's what the game is. It's a dice rolling game. You're trying to go after the cards. You're screwing with the people to your left and your right and around the table. But that's basically the game, and it's a pretty light game. The box says 44 minutes. I didn't know that was a thing, 44 minutes. But it's really not much longer than that. We played a few games. I played it with Kim and one of her daughters, and we played a few games, and yeah, it's not long. I don't think we played a game that was longer than 45 minutes, so it's not a long game. It's a very light game. It's a very light game, and yet the theme does come through, and the missions do come through, and you see some of these, like a tiger tank comes out. It's like got 3 6s you got to roll, and it's scary. It's really scary, but at the same time, it's pretty thematic too. As we're playing this game and we're going after these missions, and we're, like I say, stealing points from each other and whatnot. This is one of those games that, for the amount of times it takes to play it, it's just right. Because if this had been over an hour, if this had been an hour 20, hour and a half game, I don't think I'd like it at all. There's not enough there. But for the amount of time it takes to play it, this is a great filler game. This is a great opener for game night. We had a blast with this game. We really enjoyed it. Definitely want to go. I'm going to keep in my collection. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for La Resistance is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, I ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history, books on history. I even upload some of my lectures on that channel. Please go ahead, please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. It would mean a lot to me. And I'd ask you to please leave a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek. That also helps us out a lot as well. And if you are a fan of the channel, I'd ask you to please go ahead and click on our Super Thanks button here on the YouTube page and consider leaving a contribution. We would really appreciate it. What 2 airplanes did Germany fear the most during World War II? Thunderbolt and lightning. Very, very frightening.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight.
I only had strength.
Right?
Because I just did them, and I had no cards.
But did we pass the check?
No, we did not.
Oh, that's too bad. What does that mean?
That means you guys can do whatever you want.
What does that mean?
Oh, damn it. It's those 2. You got them!
Wait. I can potentially add 4, but that'll only
No,
get
that's
us
not
to
going to
7.
do it
Does
because
that
it is
not-
just -3, -6. Okay, basically, look. It is -5.